D.B Cooper, Where Are You is a new Netflix series. Imagine if that was turned into a song like Scooby-Doo. D.B Cooper, Where Are You? Someone needs to make that. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Netflix. If you guys are like me, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more up and coming content. The new 4-part documentary series on Netflix, D.B Cooper, explores the mystery of a skyjacker who became known as D.B Cooper and committed his crime more than 50 years ago. He leapt out of a plane with $200,000 in a briefcase and got away with it. But the D.B Cooper refuses to go away. This 4-part documentary series doesn't try to give you a conclusion on who may be D.B Cooper. He may be alive still. If he is, he's pretty old. It might be this person or it might be this person. Explores different possibilities. It doesn't settle on one conclusion by the end of it all. It just explores how people are so invested in trying to solve this case and then listening to the different people who have these different ideas about who actually may be D.B Cooper. There's no conclusion on this series. There's not going to be any surprise ending where they say, hey, we figured out who D.B Cooper is. It's just kind of showing you all the different people who have these different ideas and theories about D.B Cooper and actually who he is. And that's where the fun is within this series, is that you hear all these different sleuths, all these different people who have spent years and decades of their time trying to solve this case. A lot of people have come together for conventions, and you hear how people are so invested in it and what drives them to try to figure out this mystery. But it's interesting to hear all the different theories, and you're so focused on this one theory in this episode, and then you're focused on this theory in this episode, and then your mind starts to change. I'm someone that knows of this case. Like, I don't know too much of it. I don't know like the very specific details, and there are things I learned along the way. But it's interesting, as someone who's not truly invested in this case, not knowing much about it, all the different theories. I love to listen to different theories about mysteries like D.B Cooper, so it's interesting to hear all these different theories. And the series just does not focus on one theory. It kind of bounces around back and forth. That way it keeps the episodes really light, not repetitive at all, because you get all these different theories thrown at you. Not only does it look at how many people are spending their time focusing on this case, it also focuses on how popular it became in media. A lot of people thought that John Hamm's Madman character Don Draper was Cooper. We also saw in the most recent MCU series on Disney Plus, Loki, where Tom Hiddleston was D.B Cooper. So over the course of these 4 episodes, you get all these different interviews with people, but then also you get to see how it's impacted media and how it's just been so popular over the last 50 years. And this case has not died down. It's still going strong. People are still investing their time in it, and still it seems like a case that will not be solved. Even listening to all the different theories, I still think that this will be a case that will not be solved, just because it has not been solved yet. I don't think it will ever be solved. If D.B Cooper is still alive, he's probably pretty old. If he is still alive, he got away with it. That's pretty cool. With interviews, flashy openings, vintage clips, the series gives you a chance to kind of come up with your own theories about what had happened. It spends a considerable amount of time focused on a couple different people, and you think that this actual person may end up being D.B Cooper because of how quiet they are being when they are being interviewed. So things like that are pretty mysterious and adds a little bit of suspense too, because you're starting to think this person may be D.B Cooper in the end of it all. It spends a lot of time with Tom Colbert, a former TV journalist turned documentary producer and investigator. He was featured in one of the previous D.B Cooper documentaries, the History Channel's 2016 special D.B Cooper Case Closed. But in this series, he talks about how the History Channel disregarded their work. It led to a belief that a man named Robert Rackstraw was actually D.B Cooper. Dive a little bit deeper into that and people suing each other. It's interesting to see how this case affected so many people, and so many people will spend their time trying to solve it. We did spend a lot of time with Tom Colbert and his time with other documentaries on History Channel as well. So it's interesting to see his kind of perspective around it all. I like this 4-part documentary series. It wasn't trying to convince you that this person right here is going to be D.B Cooper. It shows how people have invested their times, how popular D.B Cooper became in media, and the influence around so many different people. People have gathered at conventions for D.B Cooper. There's been authors, there's been movies, there's been shows, there's been so many different things about D.B Cooper. It just shows how popular this case is even after 50 years. So if you are interested in D.B Cooper and you feel like you know some things about it and you have your idea about who D.B Cooper may be, this series is for you. If you don't know much about D.B Cooper like myself and you want to learn a little more, here's your chance. 4-part documentary series. The first episode, I believe, is almost an hour, if not an hour long, but it gets shorter with each episode. But it's still packed with a lot of interviews, vintage clips, a really flashy opening sequence. It's filled with enough things to keep my interest throughout. So before I give you my score for D.B Cooper, Where Are You?, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button and get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give D.B Cooper, Where Are You? A B. Thank you guys for checking my review for D.B Cooper, Where Are You?, the new Netflix series. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.